Hey guys, literally nobody asked for this, but I was just thinking about Shrek Forever After, the fourth Shrek, the other day, and I was thinking to myself about the Do the Roar scene, right? So I rewatched the movie, I watched that scene again, and Shrek is so misunderstood in the scene. I'm so sorry. Let's look at it.
Come on, Shrek, it's a sing-along. You've got to sing along.
No thanks.
So, to give this scene the context it properly deserves, Shrek has been having a rough few weeks leading up to his triplets' birthday party. It's hard enough having one baby, right? So, he has been going through it. The townspeople have turned his house into a tour destination. According to him, he does not feel like a real ogre. He feels like a fake ogre, whatever that means. He feels like what Shrek 3 made him into. A silly joke for kids, a silly little thing to laugh at, point and laugh, right? That he doesn't feel like he's being taken seriously as an ogre. Not only that, but raising triplets, like 3 babies, is hard enough as it is. So he's been going through it this week especially, and a stressful situation is bound to bring out the worst in people.
Why does being your best friend entail me doing everything I don't want to do? Please, Felicia, not in Daddy's ear.
So this just shows his baby annoying him. Babies do that. Children do that. Children annoy their parents. She doesn't mean it. She doesn't mean any harm. And, he's still pretty chill about it. He tells Donkey, no, I'm not going to do whatever you just asked me to do. He's chill. He's cool. He's a bit annoyed, but he's like, he's holding it together. Despite the fact that he's stressed, he's still holding things together, right? He's keeping a calm affect.
Excuse me, Mr. Shrek. Could you do that ogre roar of yours for my son? He's a big fan.
Do the roar.
I'd rather not. It's my kid's birthday party.
Do the roar.
So this is annoying. Obviously, this is a kid and a dad turning, quote, the ogre roar into a little trick, right? Like, hey, I heard you could juggle. Can you please juggle for my kid? He'd love to see you juggle. He's a big fan. Shrek is not a superstar. Shrek is not an actor. Shrek is not a musician. You should not be a fan of someone who is just living their daily life. That is insulting. If someone told you that they were a fan of yours just because you're Mexican or Chinese or something, that would be insulting to you, right? Because who you are as a person should not warrant fans, right? If you're not producing art, if you're not a musician, an actor, or something like that, then why are you a fan of me? Because of who I am? Because I'm an ogre? That's insulting. But he holds it together. He doesn't get upset. He's still pretty chill. He's like, I'd rather not. It's my kid's birthday party. I'd rather not do it.
Honey, why don't you go check on the cake?
Sure.
And don't forget the candles.
So this is a pet peeve of mine as well. Like, when somebody tells me something so obvious, like, hey, go wash the dishes. Make sure you put the drain in right so the water isn't spilling out as you're washing. Right? Like, that's something so obvious. Like, no, duh. So, of course he's not going to forget the candles when he goes to get the cake. And he's already kind of annoyed. Like, he hasn't had time to process the annoying do the roar thing. Like, how dare you make me showing that I'm upset into a juggling sort of thing. Oh, can you do the roar for me? Like, no, what? He hasn't even had time to process that, so that annoyance is still high on the top of his conscience. So just asking someone when they're already annoyed to do something else, that's going to make them more annoyed. And on top of that, adding something as obvious as don't forget the candles is bound to increase that even more. But I will say that Fiona did not deserve the little attitude there, but it's a good thing that he turned around to roll his eyes because, if Shrek is stressed out, Fiona's twice as stressed out, right?
Mr. Shrek. Howdy, Shrek. Your cake. Yeah. Voila.
Oh, what is that supposed to be?
That sprinkles the ogre.
So this is annoying for obvious reasons. It goes along with the do the roar thing, kind of like they're making a joke out of who he is as a person. As an ogre, right? Like, being an ogre isn't as much of a joke as, just like being black isn't, right? Like if somebody told me like, hey, you're black, say yo 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 or some shit like that. Hey, you're black, twerk. Hey, you're black, can you rap for us? Like I would feel kind of the same way a little bit. No, I would feel more the same way if they said, hey, you're a black woman, can you show us your angry face? Something like that. So okay, that is 1-to-1. That's literally 1-to-1. If someone said something like that to me, that would be on the same level as Do the Roar. So I can't really find a 1-to-1 example with this cake, but it just represents everything that they've turned being an ogre into, right? It's like if I was a bodybuilder and somebody was gonna make a wax statue of me and they made it a little skinny teenage looking boy, right? That is how I feel would be closer to 1-to-1 with this. Like, I'm not that. I am a fearsome, title winning boxer, and you made my sculpture a little teenaged boy with no muscles. It's something kind of like that. It's icing on the cake. Literally icing on the cake.
Isn't he cute? He looks just like you.
But happy. It's a party, Shrek. You gotta cheer up.
I'm in a great mood, actually.
This has the same energy as, you just had the worst day of your life. You got fired. You accidentally, dropped all of your shit outside. It was raining, right? Somebody drove past a puddle and sprayed all the water on you. You have to walk home. All of that happened to you, right? And then a guy walks past you and he's like, smile, beautiful. That has the same energy of this. Shrek is clearly not in the best of moods, right? Telling someone who's in a bad mood to smile is the worst idea in the world because you don't know why they're in that mood. As far as Donkey knows, Shrek and Fiona could have had a big blowout type of argument right before this party. So what do you mean smile? You just don't know. So obviously this is gonna add to his agitation.
Oh, I'm gonna lick me a rainbow.
Donkey!
Okay, this is obviously annoying. This is disgusting, for hygienic purposes, and it's just disgusting. It's disturbing, it's disgusting. Fuck Donkey for that, because that's fucked up. That's obviously clearly that would make me explode. I would understand if he did the roar at that moment. It's my kid's birthday. Who are you to get the first lick of their cake? That's actually degenerate. That's degeneracy right there. Clearly, that shows a level of lack of self-awareness so much it's almost on the special scale.
As long as you're not doing anything, how about one of those famous Shrek roars?
Do the roar.
Let me set you straight, Butterpants. An ogre only roars when he's angry. You don't want to see me angry, do you?
Do it.
Hold it together. Just hold it together.
Got him. He's getting away. Do something.
At this point, he's clearly being pestered, but you can see he's trying his best to hold it together. He literally says, hold it together. He's trying to cope. He's trying to use his coping skills to not ruin this party. He's actually doing a pretty good job. Based on the things I've seen, I would have probably blown up already, unfortunately, but he's holding it together. He's being pestered. Come on now, he's doing a pretty good job so far.
What happened to the cake?
Trust me, it's an improvement.
You licked it.
No.
Just because you're an ogre doesn't mean you have to eat like one.
Okay, so here he gets blamed for licking the cake. He did not lick the cake. Being blamed for something you didn't do when you're already having a pretty bad day, jam-packed with a lot of stuff going on, bound to make anybody explode. And then on top of that, she dissed him. She's like, just because you're an ogre doesn't mean you have to eat like one. Damn! Holy shit! Okay.
Looks like you forgot the candle.
Okay, this scene is very important. This part of the scene is very, very important. We're gonna come back to this towards the end, but remember that. Remember the wolf blowing the balloon right in front of his face and him screaming. Remember that. And yeah, there's so much going on. Of course he was gonna forget the candles.
Oh, where's the cake?
It's a cake. Yo.
What? No, don't cry.
These disgusting gluttonous pigs ate the cake. That's obviously infuriating. The kids start crying. That's a lot to deal with. That's adding more responsibility. Now he has to keep the kids quiet. Now he has to cheer them up. Ugh, that's a lot going on.
Hey, I believe you promised my son a roar.
Do the roar.
Roar.
Don't like it.
So the pestering continues. Also entitlement. Like, I believe you owe my son a roar. Like, who are you?
Peg, we need another cake.
But there is other cakes.
So the kids are crying a lot because they believe they're not going to get cake. Shrek doesn't know what's going to happen with the cake. And
Hey, everybody. Shrek's gonna do his famous ogre roll.
Not now, donkey.
on top of that, Donkey volunteers Shrek to do the roar. He never agreed to
Peg,
doing the
are there any cupcakes?
Ate some too. They have lollipops. No, I ate some. But you didn't share. Well, you didn't share with the croissant.
So between Donkey and these pigs, like these pigs are probably slightly more of a menace because how are you going to eat all the backup food? Like, this is the kid's birthday and you ate all the food. I hate these pigs. I'm so sorry. But this would make anybody explode. Anybody, even the most calm, cool, collected person would not survive this without yelling at somebody.
Everything's gonna be okay.
What's going on?
So now he's gone a few minutes without being able to soothe the babies because the stupid pigs ate their cake, right? Now, Fiona's asking him what's going on as if he knows. Like, there's so much going on. He's probably thinking, where the fuck do I start?
Oh, Shrek, your pants away.
Do the roar.
We need the cake.
I want you guys to remember Pinocchio running around in circles around Shrek. It's going to be important for my final, towards the end of the video. So it finally comes out, right? Like, here is this. Things have been building up. Like, somebody has put a Mentos, like, into a Coke bottle over and over and over and over again. And here's the explosion, finally.
I love you, Daddy.
Everybody, I have found another cake.
Shrek, are you okay?
Okay, and that's the entire scene. So we've seen every little piece, not to mention the context of what came before it, right? Like, the people treating his house like a sideshow attraction, blah, 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 right? All of that added up to, end in this roar. All of that was leading to this roar. The Mentos kept being added to the Coke bottle, and we finally got the explosion that is a result of that, right? So I wanted to say, in defense of Shrek, I can defend almost everything he did in this, right? Almost the roar I can defend, the storming out I can defend, because Shrek was clearly overstimulated. So I told you to remember the balloon popping, right? That is such a sort of thing. Like, if somebody popped a balloon near your face, you'd be like, what? Like, you'd be confused. It would startle you a little bit, but you wouldn't yell like Shrek did, right? He was so on edge that a balloon popping made him scream. He was like, ah! Like, as if it's somebody threatening to hit you, but they're like, ooh, psych, made you flinch or whatever. No, like, he actually screamed. Like, he was actually scared. That just shows how on edge he was because he was overstimulated. And something we kind of need to give a little bit more grace for is when people are overstimulated, they react in ways that we don't necessarily always think are the best. They do not represent the best version of themselves. Clearly, Shrek is the type of guy where insults and things roll off his back. The stupid clown-looking ogre sprinkles the ogre, whatever his name was. That's something that, in any other sense, he would just let roll off of his back. Oh, that's ugly. Oh, that's insulting. Whatever. Who cares? But the buildup of all of these things created this situation where he is overstimulated to his very limit. Now, I don't defend the fact that he makes it Fiona's problem, because Fiona didn't do anything to him. Fiona is literally probably just as overstimulated as he is, but the pressure is in the society on the mom to kind of like hold it together while everything's falling apart. So Shrek was very overstimulated. I do not support the fact that he ruined the cake. That was a bit over the top, but you could see he wasn't thinking clearly. He was just thinking through his anger, and Ogre only roars when he's angry, right? And he only got angry because he was overstimulated. Give him a break. He's a dad. He's just trying to do his best. Obviously what follows was pretty selfish. Him getting just one day to be an ogre again, that was pretty selfish because Fiona obviously does not get to have a day like that. So I definitely support his roar. I support him storming out. He definitely needed a second to clear his head, and his quote friends were not doing anything to help make this party easier, make it smoother, eating his food, licking the cake. Donkey and the pigs really I'm sorry, you would never be at another party of mine ever again.